Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Cube 2, Q.U.B.E 2. I looked in the options to see if maybe there was a way to turn off the God rays which appear when you're looking at like this, and no, not an option. It's weird in a lot of games, I suppose, that you'll be given generic explanations of what you can do or what you can enable and what you can disable, but you aren't given the fine motor control under like an advanced video options or any specific things, because God rays in particular, light bloom, which I believe are the same thing, to my general understanding. I don't know if everybody really likes them or not. Okay, let's see what happens if I was to put that there. And then that drops down there. And if I change that, it really doesn't put it up any higher. And as soon as you change the green in that fashion, it stops being anything. Okay, so that was just a timing thing. Except for the problem now is I needed that first. Okay, so all I need to do is this, pull this out, which removes that, the green one that was there. And so I was just messing up the timing. The game didn't make that quite as clear as I would have liked, but fine, I suppose. And we still are running into a problem that was in existence in the first game, where the blue teleporter does seem like it gives you random distances. So here's a great example of light bloom and God rays, where you have these hexagonal patterns, which maybe they're hexagonal because they're going through a mask that you're wearing. Like, we really don't know if we're wearing a mask and then the heads-up display is going directly into our brain, or if well, one or the other. I imagine we're either wearing an astronaut's helmet that has a screen on the glass, the transparent whatever, or we are not wearing a helmet and it's going straight in our brain. Speaking of the heads-up display, I would have also preferred if the loading section and the saving section were in the lower right corner. There's no reason to have two icons or two UI elements in the same, in opposite directions. But yeah, as far as light bloom, if I could get the 6 peaks here to disappear, that would be nice. If I could get the little pentagon things to disappear, that would be nice. And if I could get the lines to disappear, that would be nice. But the general fog ray of bright light, I think that would be fine, and maybe even being blinded when looking directly at it is fine. But that's more left, game face button left to delete cube. Interesting. So I'm not even sure what that means, because they're not, this is not just assuming that I have an Xbox One controller. Instead it's just giving some generic descriptions. So I guess it's probably the X button on an Xbox controller, if I was to guess. Alright, so I'm interested in seeing what that does. Kinda nothing. And then that brought in some real world physics, so now this cube is slightly askew. I still can't press these and move them or pick them up or anything. But yes, we do now see that is, you just do a little swipe to delete. Alright. You can delete it with yourself in it or on top of it, that's fine. I feel like at this point I am as set as I am ever going to be with the audio, so I'm going to quit fiddling with that in between episodes. It sounded decent enough. So this feels like a really good puzzle because it's using all three of the colors that we have. And we only have 4 colors in the entire game. The one we're missing right now is yellow as far as a color, and then we found some green balls eventually in the first game, and some replay and reset colors. Alright. So the question, I suppose, comes down to, do I believe I land up there, or do I believe I land here? Well, actually, I would probably land there. There is some wonkiness because I'm gonna see if I can I jump up on this at all? No. If that was to fly over here, it still wouldn't be high enough. I need some height. I can't jump up on this. Let's see what this does. It does absolutely nothing. Okay. I don't feel like I could jump from there to there. So I'm a little confused. Yeah, that just launches that up to that point. And I cannot erase this. See, that would have been a cool trick, but I could imagine a lot of people also getting confused there. Yeah, I still can't reach this height. And the way this is rounded, I don't think I could do anything there. Guess I might as well set this up just in case this works. Nah, I think they very specifically set this up. Oh, but who cares? I'm missing the obvious thing that I could have done. Let's see. All right. We put a green next to it. We pull a green out. I jump on the green. We should be good. And yes, I wouldn't have made it that high. And I think I can make that jump. Yep, and the game saves, so you can see in the top left it's saving. Why not put it in the bottom left or in the bottom right? just above that, the green selector square. Here we've got what looks like a tree and a cube. So we've got a light. Oh, it actually kind of looks more like a human carrying the cube. Which certainly is what's happening right now, is we are the human doing a lot of work that the cube I don't think I can even do anything until I interact with this. We're doing a lot of work that this cube facility potentially could have done without us, and we've got a bunch of wires. Says something to interact, and so it's like a humanoid form with the same structure elements and the same cube blocks, but in human form. So is this robotic, possibly sentient race, possibly it was always a robotic race that evolved, or silicon-based life form that evolved? Is it now trying to remake itself in humans' image to better understand and communicate with us? This is a good sign, one would assume. One assumes that this isn't to be interpreted as the cubes will crush humanity and be their servants, or the cubes will stab you through the back. Like,
please, take me.
Take me!
My heart beats.
But I want it to beat
For you.
I want to become.
Come one.
She said we would become.
Come one. Don't leave me on my own.
Not without
Her.
interesting.
Emma? What is it? I think it's human, or was. Now I don't know what it is. A statue. And it was saying something. No, not saying. A radio transmission of sorts. I don't know, this is messed up.
Millie, whatever it was, it just means we need to find the location of that signal as soon as possible. Okay? Then we can find a place to rendezvous.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's just keep going, okay?
So we're going for more of a creepy vibe this time. And now the door is open. So this would be more into the theory that I'm not really human, and the person we saw at the beginning died, or possibly that wasn't even a human either. They were clones or robotic copies. I mean, one thing that's interesting is when you see in the cutscenes, it looks like our character is wearing the suit by the neckline, and it looks like some kind of uniform that seems like it would be very much in fashion with the astronaut suit that I'm wearing right now, which doesn't prove or disprove anything other than either the heads-up display can automatically generate clothing in its little screenshot of your face, which means it probably could also automatically generate a face, or it might be some small bit of evidence that you really are at least based off of, if you're a clone or a robot, an actual human. Becoming one would be a very mechanical way of thinking, certainly. Like, it is very binary here. You have either a block of air or a block of solid cube, and there's not much other choices. I don't know if merging or becoming one with a sentient AI particularly is an appealing offer. It's not really likely to lead to much growth or understanding, because clearly becoming one is also a concept of becoming one of one mind. Guess I'm dropping down here. So this looks like this might be a split path bubble. So look at her collar there. That looks like an astronaut suit. Whereas Emma just looks like she's wearing a sweater.
I'm going to investigate it, see if it can help me find my way around this place.
You know, you're not really getting be carefuls or good lucks from her. So she's not super encouraging or concerned. Seems like if you try to go backwards, you just always get a reflection. And consistently the game is trying to teach us that these are safe to land on, which makes me feel like there's going to be a big jump at some point. So we've got a door over here, a door over here, and a door over here. And this was the part I saw other people playing. So, and it's pretty obvious what we're going to do here is we're going to have to go to some subsections and get like a laser beam or something all pointing in the same direction to power up possibly this elevator to go up higher, because we fell down that hole. And here we've got some more sunlight. Clearly the elevator's not working right now. Top left is giving us an indicator when we're looking around. It doesn't really go anywhere else though. So if that's just trying to point in the right direction, it's kind of failing. I guess whenever it's not on screen, it just automatically goes in the top left. So we've got weird alien language that actually looks like a language I've seen before. It looks like Babylonian written language. Yeah, it looks a little. I think Babylonian is the one I'm thinking of. Not that I could read Babylonian. Not that I think anybody could. So we're going to interact with this.
I can't decipher this, Emma. The language is like nothing I've ever seen. There are some things I can make out in illustration. Like, it seems to be a physical transportation machine. An elevator or monorail that ascends. It's hard to understand. It's connected to the 3 doorways by these large cables. I wonder if it's something that can be powered, taking us towards the
This
beacon.
could have been a cutscene. That would have been better if it had taken camera control over.
I have no idea. But whatever it was, it seems to have turned this machine on and
See, that looks
It's
more
opened one of the
computer
doors.
generated.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to follow this cable and find out what this machine does.
Be careful, Millie.
There we get a big careful. Yeah. We don't get to stick our arm in there. Apparently, we now have a blue power cord going that way, giving some real reason for there to be power cords in the game, unlike the first game. Let's see. Before we go anywhere, though, let's see how far we can get away with this. Just looking around. There's piles of dirt. Covering the sand, or covering everything else. This is a point where it would be nicer if you could run around. So yeah, I may only be able to get up into that one area because of the way that cord was, unless I can use that to then see if I can make a mad jump that way. Maybe if I had gotten on the ledge of that but I don't know. Like, I'd have to jump, hope to catch the ledge, and I don't think I can catch the ledge. So, we're going to the blue section. And there's power cord going downward. And the power cords do have to actually be jumped over. Question is, can I jump over this? Nope, it's an invisible wall. No breaking the rules in this game, clearly. They've got the old invisible wall trick. Well, I guess that means I don't have to look as hard. And yeah, we're going downward instead of upward. Which means looking upward is kind of pointless. So it's trying to impress upon us that no, there isn't another way up, I imagine. So there's probably 3 or 4 main chapters or concepts that we're going to have to learn from this. Let's see, that is just way too easy. Now the cord was falling off on that side, so at some point it would have had to have fallen all the way to the other side. Just artistically inconsistent for no real reason. You could have just as easily had this on the other side and that would have worked just fine. So we're already at chapter 5 and we're at an hour and a half in the game.
The signal's a lot better now.
Good.
I guess maybe they wanted this to
cables
connect
are
here.
connected to. It looks like a power reactor.
Do you think you can power it? Is it safe?
I don't know if it's safe for sure, but it certainly does something. There are 4 doorways connected to it via cables. One of them seems accessible. The door behind me is also locked, so it doesn't seem like I have much choice.
It would have been nice for her to turn around and look at that first, so I knew that was the case.
Got it.
So now if it's 4 sections that breaks down into 4 rooms, and each room assumedly is either a more difficult puzzle than what we've been doing by quite a bit, or is a collection of still simple puzzles but as much as an entire chapter's worth, that would still probably work just fine. Seems like we can only go... I don't think we can go anywhere. What's the part of this I'm missing? Like, this door's locked, so I guess we'll shoot ourselves upward. I'm not quite a long enough jumper in this game to jump over that direction. And X and left click doesn't seem like it does anything. Alright. Falling still does no fall damage. Is there a possible way to get to that? This little connector. Yeah, I don't think so. It feels like that. I just clipped through that one. So the black screens, I guess, are indicators of what is powered and what isn't. So this one is powered. Alright, I'm getting handle of this. Probably taking longer than I should. And so this is full on another elevator. Like, seems like there's too many elevator rides. Too much loading. Whereas the director's cut of the first game really didn't have any loading. So this is a disappointment. At least that time it wasn't actually a loading scene, so at that point the elevator didn't need to exist, I imagine. And see, so if you see a cloud, that means there's some form of moisture. No guarantee that it's water.
It looks like these cables lead through to more rooms. I'm gonna follow them, see if they connect to anything that can help power that central machine.
Good idea. Let me know if you find anything useful.
So, yeah, blue skies, also an indicator of water. The only reason Earth's sky is blue is because it's reflecting the hue of the water that is then also blue because it's acting as a prism to turn pure clear light into blue light. So humans can stand on the switches. Good to know. A lot of windows that you can jump up and try and look out of, but I don't think, and even if I did find a way to jump over in that area, I probably would simply just hit an invisible wall. And there must just be a lot more content. A lot more, because I would have run into something, some sort of collectible. It feels like now if you were going to try and speedrun this game, you'd almost demand a ability to skip all the early puzzles and start at least in that central room, because they're so simplistic. I guess we're in the blue area, so we're gonna get slightly blue cubes. There is definitely some human things in this compared to the first game. Like the fact that there's so many elevators means that there's something that needs elevators. The fact that there's different colored chambers means that there's something without perfect memory recall that needs to know where it is at a glance. This powers that, and once it's unpowered it goes there. This powers that. So then we just need, what does this do? Well, first let's get rid of that and we'll find out later. Like that feels like that needs to power something. Oh yeah, that powered this moving, so I've solved everything in the puzzle. Let's do one more. There's an unfairness in games like this, and being a clone of a game that almost everybody who plays your game is gonna already have played. So by being a Portal clone, you have to make the puzzles kind of harder than they need to be, while also I imagine that your publisher and your developing team is going to want you to try to make it slightly newcomer friendly, and that too will be a hard challenge to meet, because as somebody who's played Portal 1, Portal 2, the Talos Principle, Magnetic Cage Close, and Q.U.B.E. 1 Director's Cut, this is like the 5th game of that same idea. I hear a little dinging, which makes me feel like there might be a collectible. But where would it be? It might be in the next room, or that might be nothing. See, it seems like it's slightly louder. Am I gonna have to walk through this room a second time, possibly? I think I will. I think they're gonna probably try and do that to stretch out the game. Well, that's another 30 minutes, so as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.